Hi, Jim McMechan with Wilson Hyundai here. I'm standing in front of a 2019 Hyundai Sonata SEL. And the one word that comes to mind when I think of the Hyundai Sonata is value. Now I realize that value is a word that often gets overused in our society today. We live in an instant, styrofoam cup kind of world. But the truth is that there are just some products that are better than others. And I'd like to share with you why I think the Hyundai Sonata has such a great value. And it all starts up front, under the hood. Every time I open the hood of a Hyundai Sonata, I'm amazed at the design of the engine. Let me tell you why. I'm the kind of person that loves to work on their own vehicles, do their own kind of maintenance, and you realize that one of the ways to get maximum value out of any automobile that you own is to make sure that it's regularly maintained, because you'll extend the life of the engine and all the vital components. I love the layout of this engine. I love the way it's designed. If I want to check my engine oil or add windshield wiper fluid or coolant or even replace an air filter, I can get to everything. I absolutely love that. One of the great things about Hyundai is its safety record. And the Hyundai Sonata has a 5-star safety crash rating, which is the highest rating you can get in the government. It's also a top safety pick by the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. I want to draw your attention to a couple of safety features that are underneath the hood. Notice the space between the back of the engine and the back firewall there. That's actually a front crumple zone that's been designed into the car. So if you get into a catastrophic event where you're into a frontal collision, that space is designed to absorb the energy of a crash and displace it so the engine doesn't get pushed up into the cabin. I want you to also notice that there are breakaway engine motor mounts located here and also underneath the air filter, which you can't see. But again, if you get into a serious collision, front-end collision, those mounts are designed to break away, drop the engine underneath the chassis, almost like a boat and an anchor, again protecting the integrity of the cabin. Could be why the Hyundai Sonata's got such a great safety track record. Now, what you have here, what you're seeing is a 2.4 Theta Lambda engine, which has gasoline direct injection. It'll deliver about 185 horsepower and about 176 pound per foot of torque. The gasoline GDI, you'll see it stamped right there on the top of the engine, stands for gasoline direct injection. And what that means is that the fuel is sprayed into each cylinder at a higher compression, so it gives a little bit more bang when the spark plug fires. So how do you ask, well, what does that mean for me? Well, if you need a little extra oomph when you press down on the accelerator, perhaps to merge on the entrance ramp to an interstate or to pass a long line of semis, when you press down on it, that GDI will kick in and you'll find a little extra horsepower, a little extra oomph. You really get the best of both worlds here, because you're going to get the horsepower comparable to most V6s in its class, but you're going to get the fuel economy of a 4-cylinder. I almost failed to mention it gets 35 miles to the gallon on the highway. But one of the great things about the Hyundai product is, and if you forget everything I've just said, the one thing you ought to remember is, if you have any trouble with this engine between now and 2029, you can bring it in and they'll fix it. I'll tell you what, Honda and Toyota won't give you that. When you sit in the driver's seat, one of the things you're going to notice is the amount of a leg head and shoulder room there is. The EPA actually designates the Hyundai Sonata as a large car, even though it's in the midsize category. And it has best-in-class interior volume. Well, we're sitting right here in front of an SEL, and so you can see the instrument displays and heads-up information that it will give you. You can cycle through all kinds of different information. You have Bluetooth telematics, cruise control, and audio controls, all straight from the steering wheel, which is absolutely wonderful. The car is also equipped with a couple of safety features. There's blind spot indicators on the side of the mirror, so if somebody comes up on your blind spot, a little light in the mirror will highlight. And if you have your turn signal engaged, an audible tone will sound, warning you not to merge in. That's a wonderful safety feature. In fact, there's also electronic stability control. That's a form of traction control, and basically what that means is that if you begin to hydroplane or one of the tires begins to lose friction on perhaps a wet pavement on a rainy night, the car will know that you need help. So it'll rev that engine back just a little bit. It'll apply some braking force to an inside tire, a little more traction to an outside tire, help you maintain control of the vehicle. In fact, the government thought that traction control was such a great idea, electronic stability control was such a great idea, that in 2012 they mandated every car made in the United States to have some form of electronic stability control on it. But you know, Hyundai's been putting it on on their cars since 2005. I'm really pleased to represent Hyundai because they have always been ahead of the curve. Now, the car is also Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible. You'll notice there is no CD player because CDs are a thing of the past. Everybody is streaming their own music from their phones, and I absolutely love the fact that you can plug in your cable and then you can stream Google Maps onto the main screen, or you can stream your own music, that kind of thing. You just have to download the app. It's a very simple process. And as well, it also has Bluetooth technology so that your hands never have to leave a steering wheel. If I wanted to call my boss because I was late for work, all I would have to do is press the button and call my boss, and it would connect me, and I could intergage with him through the car speakers. So I'm absolutely really enjoy that as well. 2 power outlets and 3 different driving modes. There is Eco, Sport, and Comfort. And so the Sport mode will tighten the steering and the suspension to give you a little more tighter feel to the car. Comfort mode is just, kind of normal, and the Eco mode actually controls the throttle and the timing to give you optimum fuel economy for whatever speed you're going. So remember our key word is value. There is definitely a lot of bang for the buck inside the Hyundai Sonata. In the back seat of the SEL, you'll notice that there's seating capacity for 3 adults and also rear air conditioning and a power outlet. I absolutely love that, and let me tell you why. I have a special needs child, and we don't go anywhere without his iPad. And I love the fact that he can just plug it in and charge it and stay, on long trips, can stay occupied. If you fold down the center of the seat, you actually discover that there are cup holders here. So if you have, and again, with a special needs child, that's come in really handy for me as well. The car is also equipped with a latch system, so if you have a car seat, there are anchors right underneath the seat buttons right here that will actually anchor that car seat right to the frame of the car. So again, another reason for safety features. And one more thing I might mention, this car has a whole cocoon of airbags. Every car has an airbag that deploys from the steering wheel and above the glove compartment. But this car, the Hyundai Sonata, also has side curtain airbags, airbags that deploy from the side in the front seats, and an airbag that deploys from underneath the instrument panel to protect your lower extremities. Again, probably a good reason why the Hyundai Sonata's got a 5-star safety crash rating. The Hyundai Sonata actually has a release button that's hidden. This is a really neat trick. You'll enjoy this. If you notice the emblem right here, the release button normally would be down here or somewhere in here, but here it's fit into the H pattern. Absolutely love that. And as you can see, there's a lot of room in the trunk, about 16.3 cubic feet of cargo space. And the seats actually fold down with a 60/40 folding seat. And if you have to haul additional cargo, you can put that in there, and it will you'll have plenty of room. One of the things I admire about Hyundai is that you'll notice it still has a spare tire. A lot of car manufacturers are eliminating the spare tire in order to lighten the vehicle. They're under such pressure by the EPA to raise their fuel economy standards and to get as much mileage out of it as they can, that one of the heaviest things about your car is your spare tire. And they know that if they eliminate that spare tire and replace it with a can of Fix-A-Flat or a little mini air compressor, they lighten it and they can pick up about a half a mile a gallon on the EPA sticker. But I'm kind of old-fashioned. I like having a spare tire in my car because if I'm ever in a place where I can't get a hold of the roadside assistance, I can basically get out there and hoof it. By the way, the Hyundai Sonata comes with 5 years unlimited mileage roadside assistance. So even though it has a spare tire, I can still call that 1-800 come get me number if I ever break down, and they'll come to my rescue. So as you can see, the SEL has great designs. It's got chrome alloy wheels. I love the chrome handles and just the blind spot indicators and the turn signals that are built into the mirror. It has a really aggressive and athletic appearance, and the wind design, a very low coefficient of drag, about 0.27 coefficient of drag, so it definitely will slice through the air and get you some great fuel economy. So I hope you've been able to see some of the value of the Hyundai Sonata. We'd love to earn your business here at Wilson Hyundai. Thanks a lot, and see you next time.